This is it. You will not see me here in this chair again. Short and sweet and to the point. Hey, welcome to Lost in Wonder. We talk about life and growth and adventure and the God who invites us to all of it. And if that interests you, you're in the right place. Things are going to change, but our God doesn't. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm glad you're here. I'm here one last time because my life is changing. Like all of our lives are changing, but in dramatic ways, in a way that this spot will not be here for me. I am moving. I am in the process of relocating lots of things. My mindset's being relocated to a different place. That sounds weird. My physical stuff is being relocated. It's a time of transition and a time of unknown. So, something that's happened that's leading to this is a lot of camping. Any campers out there? Anyone who loves to be out and camp? Well, I love to camp. And especially, I love camping in certain spots in the Bible. Yeah, yeah, camp out, I call it. So finding a book or a chapter and just camping, maybe doing some archaeology, digging around, squatting in the dirt, feeling, sensing, breathing, savoring, imagining what life was like at this time, thinking beyond what is written, that kind of thing, camping. So I'm leaving and I'm camping, kind of metaphorically and literally. At this point, I will probably be doing some camping and I'm inviting you along. And because that's part of my change, because life is going to be a bit unsettled for a bit, this chair, this setting will look different. I will look different. I'm going to invite you to see the God of wonders in a different way. So, as we get lost in wonder, and we talk about that here, and how we don't get lost in fear, we don't get lost in confusion, we get lost in wonder. But at the same time, I have gotten to experience what that means to be lost in wonder. So, transitions going on, camping's going on, uncertainties going on. Any of those sound familiar to you? Anything like that happening in your life? Well, let's walk through it together. Because as I've camped out in God's word, I have found our God is so consistent. The God in the Bible is not an Old Testament and New Testament God. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Maybe you don't even read the Bible. Maybe you don't know what I'm talking, and that's fine. The Bible is made up of lots of smaller books. Maybe you know that. And what's astonishing is consistency, right? So as things change in our lives, as we go camping to different places, as things are unsettled, the God of the Bible is consistent. Even though there are 66 books written across thousands of years by many different people in different situations, cultures, emotions, physical space, prisoners, kings, shepherds, all kinds of authors. It's consistent. And that's what's so crazy. As I've been camping in these different places in the Bible, from Genesis, that's the first book, you might be familiar with that. It talks about in the beginning, God created. Isn't that something? First thing he tells us, he's creative. He created the heavens and the earth. Amazing. And the next line kind of ties into this part of my life. And the earth, I don't know if I have it just right, so, close enough. And the earth was formless and void, and darkness was over the face of the earth. And the Spirit of God hovered or brooded over the face of the earth. Interesting, right? The fact that this God who wants us to know him is indicative of writing a book for us. That's one thing. And what also is impressive is what he begins with. He begins with creativity. He begins with creating something, but in a mess. He doesn't start with everything perfect. He doesn't start with everything done. He shows us how we start something because he does it in our own lives all the time. So, right now, as I'm leaving this space, as life is changing, as there's uncertainty, as it's messy, confusing, chaotic, guess what? That's just what Genesis shows us. And it's just what God shows us he walks into. He doesn't shy away. He's not gone. He's not avoiding it. He's not ignoring it. And he's not doing it half-hearted or instantaneously. It's amazing. So I camped in Genesis for a while, if you can tell, because seeing a new beginning coming down the lane, coming in front of me, a new start, I need to know how God started things. I need to know how the author of life wants me to start and restart my life. So here I am. The chair, it's going. It's going to be gone. All my things here. Not my book. That's not gone. You can still get that. But my life in this spot is going to be over very shortly. Lots of hard things. And that's good. We need to grieve. We need to mourn. That honors what was behind us. But at the same time, stepping into the next season, knowing this is just how our God in the Bible does things. He steps towards messes. He creates things when it doesn't look like there's anything good to come of it. Just read Genesis. You'll see some good stuff coming out of what seemed like nothing or chaos. And then, as far as moving on, our purpose, our reason for doing so is well beyond us. So here I am realizing I've been holding off on doing this last video because I didn't know what to say. I've already started and stopped. And there's some videos and there's, you know what? It's embarrassing. And I talked about that before. Starting, stopping. Yeah. But just today I read about someone else who started and stopped. You've heard of him, maybe. Even if you've never read the Bible. There's this book called Jonah. And Jonah started and stopped. And Jonah was not what you'd say was a great example of consistency. But that's okay, because our God was consistent through Jonah, invited people to know him, even when Jonah was telling these crazy sailors, throw me overboard. The God he served was reaching those same sailors. Isn't that crazy? So Jonah, didn't quite get it straight. Even at the end of the book, it's a very small book. You can read it fast. It's only like 4 chapters. Even at the end, you don't see a big, nice bow on it, tied up resolution. Jonah's all, it's an interesting book. Our God is consistent even when we're not. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. I'm going to leave you with, buy from the chair. Our God is consistent even when we aren't. When we're in crazy confusion, that's where he steps in and loves to make beauty out of messes. He calms the chaos. He brings his creativity in the confusion so that we can see that we've been invited to join him. So, goodbye from the chair, and look for me coming at you with a very different kind of video, but still looking at the God of wonders and still calling us to get lost in wonder, not in fear, not in discouragement. And I will see you next time.